You're black. Now tell me, what's the right reaction? Hands up, too threatening. Hands down, too passive. Speak up, too angry. Stay quiet, too complicit. Run, you're guilty. Stand still, you're suspicious. Smile, you're performing. Frown, you're intimidating. Tell me, what is the proper choreography for surviving inside of a skin that everybody keeps mistaking for a weapon? Tell me, because I spent my whole life auditioning for innocence in front of a jury that already mesmerized my verdict. Tell me, ain't that a hell of a thing? To be born and immediately become evidence, to inherit a body and spend your life trying to convince the world it belongs to you. My mother taught me how to say, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, before she taught me how to say, I love you. Not because she loved authority, but because Black mothers know sometimes respect sounds a lot like survival. Sometimes survival sounds a lot like surrender. Sometimes surrender is exactly what we call it when a Black person is too exhausted to explain their humanity again and again and again and again. I'm tired. I'm tired of being told I'm too Black for some rooms and not Black enough for others. I'm tired of being othered in every room that I walk in. I'm too educated. I'm too loud. I'm too successful. I'm too articulate, as if intelligence is somehow trespassing, as if excellence requires a permission slip, as if every achievement must first survive an interrogation. Now tell me, how do you win in a game where the goalposts got legs? Being Black is exhausting, where history changes clothes but keeps the same intentions, where they love our rhythm but they fear our heartbeat, where they love our culture but they criminalize our condition, where they love our music but silence our mourning. They love our flavor but they choke on our truth. See, they love us best when we entertain, when we dance, when we score, when we sing, when we make pain look profitable. But let a Black person become a mirror, and suddenly everybody got a problem with their reflection, because reflection is dangerous. Reflection asks questions. Reflection remembers names. Reflection does not let history slip away wearing a new suit. Reflection is staring back at you, and I know what some will say. Well, things are better now than they were back then, and maybe. But better and healed are not the same thing. A scar is proof that something survived. It's not proof that it didn't hurt, and Lord, it hurt. It hurt so bad watching fathers become statistics. It hurt watching mothers become miracles. It hurt watching children inherit fear before they inherit property. It hurts realizing that freedom can be legal and still feel expensive. But here's the testimony. We're still here. Still turning struggle into symphonies, still turning grief into gospel, still turning closed fists into open businesses, still turning no into neighborhoods, still turning survival into something beautiful enough to call legacy. You see, blackness is not tragedy. Blackness is alchemy. We take what was meant to break us and somehow we still make it beautiful. We take chains and somehow still make it rhythm. We take pain and somehow we still make it poetry. We take rejection and somehow we make it a revolution. We take what we may feel like surviving death, feel like the best experience on earth. So no, I'm Black and I don't have the right reaction. I have every reaction. I'm hurt, I'm angry, I'm sad, I'm mad. I have the rage of my ancestors, the prayers of my grandmothers, the resilience of my brother, the dreams they tried to redline, the joy they couldn't legislate, the brilliance they couldn't erase it. If that makes me too much, then maybe the problem was never my existence. Maybe the problem is a world that keeps asking Black people to shrink so other people can stay comfortable. So no, I'm not gonna shrink. No, I'm not gonna soften. No, I'm not gonna apologize for taking up the exact amount of space God carved out for me. So freeze, you're Black. Now tell me, what's the right reaction? Maybe there isn't one. I can't ask Nolan. I can't ask Cyrus. I can't ask Carmelo. They didn't have the right reaction. So maybe that's the lesson. Maybe the freest thing a Black person can do in America is stop asking for the right reaction. There is none. You just have to be human. Sunset Monet.
It's about to go down. Michael Sean and the Takeover Legend Morning Show is back Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Michael Sean, that's me. Jay Black, Sexy Mo, C-Chum, and celebrity guests that you get nowhere else. That's right, but here on Michael Sean and the Takeover Legends. Go to our YouTube page, Michael Sean and the Takeover Legends, and check the exclusive situation situation all the way out or catch it live. Get your comments on Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Michael Sean and the Takeover Legends are back.
Michael Sean and the Takeover Legends, where the truth hurts, but also makes you laugh.
Baby, tap in.
We the Worst Records, baby. We about to create a perfectly horrible song. Y'all know I've been in this gym, and now all I wear is tight shirts, tight shirts, tight shirts, tight shirts, tight shirts. Yes, I do. Michael Sean wears tight shirts every day. I wear tight shirts because I'm working out some. And if I wear the right size, you won't see none of my little cuts in my arms or whatever. Short sleeve tight shirts in any type of weather. People talking trans when they see me in the street.
Your shirt's so tight, we can see your heartbeat.
Man, clown me if you want, I'm sticking to my guns. And when December comes, it's gonna be fun. You can crack jokes and treat me like a jerk, but one day you'll see my six-pack right through my shirt. And even if I wanted to, I just can't stop. I just might rock an Ezekiel crop top.
Whoa.
Did I take it too far? What?
Yes.
Whatever. Tight shirts in the morning, at work and when I grieve. I even wear tight pajama tops when I sleep. Tight shirts, tight shirts, tight shirts, tight shirts, tight shirts, tight shirts. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the final day in July. Listen, it's I know what you're saying. We already done July, but people, it's a Friday. We done made it through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, which means it is time to dine. After a long week of the struggle, after a long week of the stress, and you might have had some smiles and some giggles if you joined Michael Sean and the Takeover Legends Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But every Friday, if you're just joining us, watch your screen. If you're in your car, it is time to dine. For those who don't know, I am single, so sometimes I gotta tell y'all, come get some, ladies.
If
Come.
you see me and you tryna see what's up, he wanna fuck with me, then I'ma have him stuck.
Tell your partner in the house, come get
If
some.
you see me and you tryna see what's up, he wanna fuck with me, then I'ma have him stuck.
No matter the pain, the struggle, every Friday we will dance. Yes, indeed. On a Friday, she's in here early. She's in here on time. She's trying to get her points back. I'll explain that later. Sexy Mo is in the building.
Allegedly, Sexy Mo.
Oh, my goodness. Good morning there, Mo. Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good.
You're
I
good.
didn't get any sleep.
You didn't get any sleep.
About 3 and some change, and it was like weirdly like sorted and laid out. So no.
I don't know what is going on with this squad between you and Jay Black. There is no sleep. Like, and I'm the one who spent years trying to get sleep. And so you were just, it was broken up. But did you get like 2 in a row, 3 hours in a row? Did you,
So you know how you remember increments of turning, tossing and turning at night? That's how my recall is right now.
Well, we got the whole squad in here. I hope this gentleman got sleep because he's in the building with Dr. Aaron.
Make some noise!
Time to get your knowledge up and get ready to write down some facts with Dr. Aaron Smith.
Hey, can you hear me?
Of the brother, Sissy.
And ironically enough, Jay Black, who has no intro, is also in the building.
That's crazy. Why don't I got an intro? Where the producer intro?
I don't,
that's crazy.
I don't know.
Primo, Goo. I need a producer intro.
Oh, well, then talk to Trendsetter because he made and C Chung, who we haven't seen. For those who don't know, just joining us for the first time, C Chung is somebody who's been down with the squad forever, but he never shows up. He's never shown up. Tommy didn't have a job. C Chung just don't show up to his job. That's what pops off. So, Doc, anything interesting last night? How was your night last night? I like to recap everybody's night.
No, all good. I'm going camping today. The Christian Church in
Camping.
Philadelphia is doing a retreat, a camping retreat. We're going to Camp Trexler out there in Jonas, 2 hours down Poconos area. So I'll be out there in the cabins. I'm doing some fishing and some hiking and swimming this weekend. Retreat, commune with nature and get closer to the Lord and the walk and the family, one body.
Wow.
So I got some preparing to do today. So I logged on early, make sure I was not in the car and everything, so I can get on,
I like your daringness.
Say again?
Yeah, your mic is kind of crazy today. Mo. Yeah. Like we hear you. I mean, when we hear you, it's fine, but it's kind of. But Mo says she likes
the chair is nice. The mic ain't, but the chair is. The chair.
Is that something you always want to do? Because black people ain't known to be doing that type stuff, Doc. What are you? You're not gonna be by yourself with a bunch of YTs, are you? Like I'm confused.
I knew it was coming. Black people.
Which part? The fishing or the cabin?
People,
what part do black people not do?
All that stuff is suspect to me. Like cabin, like we don't just go out in the woods and the cabins and fishing, and that's not our thing. That's not normal. Our normal forte. Let me just say it like that.
You know why? You know what I would agree with? I would agree that a lot of times people don't feel welcome and safe in certain spaces. I don't think it's like black people not liking fish or black people not liking to swim, but I do think historically there's been a lot of limitations. Because one time somebody was teasing me about the people in my neighborhood not leaving their block and not leaving their porch. I had to explain to them, this is generational. People say don't go past that corner and get in when the street lights come on. Like this is cultural. There's a reason why you don't just walk out 3 blocks down on the other side of town or when it's dark. So yeah, you're right. If you're not going to leave the block or leave your neighborhood for fear of whatever's going to happen, you're right. You're not just going to trek out into the woods in the great outdoors and see what happens and becomes of you. But I think we need to break that cycle, just like we, have to do it in terms of neighborhoods. We got to do it in terms of nature.
Well, being down south for like 9 years, a lot of black people do hike, hunt, fish a lot. Like a whole lot, like
shoot guns.
Yeah, like that was the first thing I was shown. Shout out to my man Cat Daddy. Cat Daddy was like, "Yo, let me show you this video," and he was showing me them duck hunting, and I had never seen nobody duck hunt. He said, "Would you like to go?" Obviously, I said no because I really don't see the purpose in killing the ducks. I don't know what they did, but to the point is, there's a lot of black people who do a lot of hiking, a lot of camping, a lot of fishing. A whole lot. Maybe not on your block, J Block.
Black people? Black?
Yeah, black people. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, black.
Right.
What's the other type? Yeah, tell us the other types of black.
Tell us the other types of black, Jay. Go ahead. Educate.
The Patrick Mahomes or the DMX?
Oh, that might be beige. That might be beige. That might
all right. Hey, black people don't hunt and Patrick Mahomes
watch that movie called Wrong Turn. He just watched it yesterday. See, you're doing too much, Doc. That is one of the movies.
Deer meat is good. You got to try deer meat.
I mean, the fact of the matter is the original hunters were
yeah, about to say the nature.
The original cowboys, the original hunters. Just because the propaganda told you that, but so Jay Black, how was your non-hunting night? How was your non-camping, night? How'd everything go last
night? Did Lady Q, we got into it as usual, disagreed about some stuff. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to play clips and I ain't going to go through all that, but we
play clips.
Because we see clips on social media, right?
Oh, okay. What did you argue about?
And then she asks a question. She bait me, and then when I say something, she gets upset, and then we go back and forth. Or I say something, I'm like, "Yo, did you hear this?" And then we'll go, back and forth.
It's sort of like what you do on the show to us.
No, not. Well,
it's like what you do when you bait everybody, and you say black people don't hunt or camp. Only white people do.
That's bait. That's bait.
Yeah, the bait. Yeah, not the black, not the regular bait, not the Patrick Mahomes bait, but the bait. So what was it that y'all were arguing about? What was the?
It was a couple of things we disagreed with yesterday. I'm trying to remember.
Space which y'all do is when y'all argue, or debate. I should say debate. I think that's a happy space. That's like a hobby y'all do. Like some people play cards, and y'all play clips and debate. So do you have the clip or can
I could play it? It was one. It was the whole Clarissa Shields thing was one of them.
Okay. The fact that y'all wasted time debating on clip, but that's a different story. Go ahead.
No, because people get stuck on the marriage title, I believe. If we're not together, we're not together. Just because you're still legally married, don't lock you down. So Clarissa Shields is answering a question about Pep, and you know you messing with a married man, and here we go. Like,
much longer are you willing to be in a relationship with somebody's husband? Because at the end of the day, that's what people are looking.
Well, pause.
Okay.
Pause.
I love the way she said that question.
Okay.
Papoose filed for divorce. Y'all hate to say that word, but it's the word that's out there. He filed for divorce because he's serious about me. So I'm not with somebody's husband.
Okay.
And if you're going to call him her husband, make sure you call her his wife. And also hold her accountable for what she's doing in her life because she has a man.
So the gist of that is Remy technically is still married too. Why ain't nobody saying, yo, you know you're a married woman? Why you out here with the boy from Philly, captain of the block, and you with this person?
I don't know if she's with him anymore, but go ahead. I get it.
I'm just saying, like, people get caught up on those titles. In theory, I was with Lady Q before my divorce was final.
Then you were married.
So Lady Q was messing with a married man?
Yeah.
But even though you're not together and you've been like separate, I think it's stupid.
Is this your way of avoiding? Is this your way of avoiding another debate? Like this is
very avoidant behavior.
Well, no, Doc. What is your position, Doc?
I feel like you digging deeper, like for no reason. Use some analogies that don't include you. Yeah, it's on the shot.
No. Use the analogies that include you because I want it to be personalized when we discuss it. So when you use an analogy, I like it. I like that you refer to you. Yes. Then before Doc gets into it, because you always go to Doc because he's your safety net. Let's just get straight to this. Yes, she was married. She was messing with a married man. Yes, under the law, the same way you sign the paperwork to get married, the same way, because if that's the case, you wouldn't sign the paperwork if it wasn't a big deal. You went through the whole song and dance if it wasn't a big deal. You wouldn't have had me go to the courthouse and be a witness if it wasn't a big deal. So yes,
they might done to himself.
So yes, when you guys were together, you may not have been there emotionally. Emotionally, you weren't married, but technically you were. So I don't understand what the debate is. No, Remy is married. Papoose is married under the law until that divorce is final.
Yeah, hit a hot button. Nobody hitting the no. Oh, y'all got the buttons. That's why somebody would have hit a button. Somebody would have.
But if you're not together, you're not together. Like that's
you can say whatever you want. You can say whatever you want. If you're not together, you're not together.
He didn't really want to do it. He only did it because Clarissa making him, and then he would have been did it. Remy been asking for a while, and like I don't get it. We're not together. We're not together. So they trying to say
get it.
Because it's just
that's why you keep using the word together and not the word married, because the issue is he a married person and you are continually using the word together. So you must know that the reason why you're saying together is because you know that technically, like Mike said, they both are married. That's why you moved away from married and you started saying they're not together. But if you thought they weren't married, you would have just said, no, they're not.
It's more palatable. It's more palatable.
You justify it over there. You rationalize.
Brought in the palatable. Go ahead, Moses. Let me drop these. She done brought in the palatable.
I can digest that better than somebody because it sounds less judgy, right?
Mm-hmm. And technically, it's true. Technically, together is true. We're not together. Matter of fact, if a dude just goes out and cheats that night, he's not together because his wife don't know where he at. So if you want to use if together is the benchmark to judge it, then no, a lot of times people not together in many different ways, but they still married.
How many times you been in a relationship where the other person didn't know it was over and you already started talking to somebody else? That's common, right?
A few, yeah. But no, it don't make it right. It don't make it right.
But you're still in a relationship. And the reason why the other person doesn't know is because you ain't told the other person. Because if you tell the other person, then the relationship would be over.
Right.
And the reason why
you tell them about you though, like what does that say about you when you have
you just starting relationships? I'm out. I'll tell her later.
Well, I thought you knew.
I don't judge people if they're going through a separation and say, well, you can't date somebody else until your paperwork is final. I think they're just stupid.
First of all, that's your opinion. I'm not gonna say your opinion is wrong or right, but as adults, I think, and I've been somebody who took part in this, and it's still, I can't call it stupid. The adult thing would be, you know what? Until this is done, until I'm out of this marriage, until it's finalized, the adult thing to do is I'm not gonna jump into another relationship.
You might need to play the clip again, Mike, because I didn't know she was getting shamed. I didn't hear that part because Jay said, to make people feel bad or judge people. I didn't hear the judgment. I might have missed it. So bring the question back if you could, so I could hear where.
I mean, before you play it, I will say the way she asked the question was judgy. The way she asked the question.
Oh,
was
a tone.
Judgy.
Okay, a tone might be
Yeah,
judgy.
yeah,
Okay,
that was judgy. So
I'll listen for that.
So don't make it seem like it's just one sided. I'm
not
take
it from the top. You gotta take it from the top.
I'm with the man who filed for divorce, who's serious about me, who has done things for me that I've done for him. So that's not what it is. They say that because they want that to be the narrative, but that's not it. People go through divorces and breakups more than anything in the world. That's why it's such a big talk.
Oh, we know.
Oh, I just got divorced.
Oh, I'm in one right now.
But divorces take time.
Yes, it is.
And you're going through the processes, you've been through the course, it is what it is.
Clarissa, I went through that. Well,
so all right, I'm gonna bring it back from the top down because Jock.
Just to tell if you're just joining the show, we are going to speak about Nolan Wells' family attorney Ben Crump seeking justice. We're going to talk all about that, but we got 2 hours, people. So just if you're here, and we're going to rock out, we will talk about that. But Jay Black and his wife have a hobby where they debate, and I like it. I like the fact that they debate. And this is one of the things, and this is the interviewer asking Clarissa Shields, why are you still messing with a married man? Like,
real question, because I didn't be here before. How much longer are you willing to be in a relationship with somebody's husband? Because at the end,
that was shady the way she asked that, right?
Little bit. I mean, but she did say it happened to me. She tried to balance it.
That counter transference does not make her tone
exactly
more correct.
How long are you gonna be with a married man, bitch? All I think she missed was the bitch at the end.
The other day, that's what people are looking at.
Well, pause.
Okay.
Pause, because that's not somebody's husband.
Okay.
Papoose filed for divorce. Y'all hate to say that word, but it's the word that's out there. He filed for divorce because he's serious about me.
Yeah, we got what she said. If she had just left the he's not somebody's husband, I like the other point she made. That everybody goes through this. It takes time. He's serious about me. She made great points. I think when she first said, wait, pause, like she got triggered. If she had took a beat and just let it breathe for a minute and let her finish Kanye Taylor Swift and just made those other points she made, she could have diffused what was an attempt at clickbait. I do see the attempt to get a moment, and she did get her moment because you got triggered. You shouldn't have gave her the moment. You should have just been like, well, people get divorced all the time, and he did this because he's serious about me. And just let it, next question. She could have shielded herself, from getting be part of a viral moment.
But just even further, and I think relationships are difficult. Obviously, they shouldn't be difficult, but we always say they're difficult, and we always say they take work and all that good stuff. I think the problem is when somebody dangles a divorce
up next, Lee Robinson,
to certify their relationship, because too many men be like, I'm a leaver though, and that's the dangle. I'm a leaver. We're gonna get divorced, and the person I just said we're going into the topic, but we're having a conversation to open the show. We have 2 hours. We have 2 hours. God damn, we got 2 hours. This is our greeting. We say good morning to each other. But I think that's a problem when you're constantly dangling. When one of the prizes, instead of giving a woman flowers, is I'm a leaver, and somebody gets excited. So I think that's why people ask.
That's the big carrot.
That's the big carrot.
Yeah, that's the big carrot, especially for women, because a lot of times we leap out on faith. And I'm not saying men don't either, but
absolutely,
but mostly it's women who we leap out on faith. Well, he said he gonna leave her, so women kind of stick it out and ride the wave, and then you look up, and it might be 2-3 years later, and they're like, well, what happened to the divorce? I thought we would. And then here comes the excuses of, well, it takes time and, money, and we got to split the assets. And well, you're not a millionaire. You don't got no stock together. It's a house or maybe it's a bank account. But I think that there's, layers and layers of complication to that that people add when they're not truthful and transparent.
And I think another thing is, and I'm not just saying this because Jay Black said it. A lot of people say, well, it's just stupid. Well, then you should have been more, you should have known the responsibility you were taking when you got married, that it was supposed to be forever, allegedly. Like you can't get mad when people keep bringing it up, when you make a big deal when you jump into it.
Mm-hmm.
You make a big deal when you jump into it, but then at the end of it, it's not a big deal. What's the big deal? I'm not with it no more. Like, why y'all making such a fuss about this? Because technically you are. So I guess your thing was, I guess Lady Q was on the other side of this argument.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was just a healthy debate. So, like I said, it was just a healthy debate. It's other sides. Marriage is a title. Remy's doing this, Pap doing that. Clarissa wants to be accepted, and it was just life. So this is stuff that a lot of people go through in relationships. So it was just a good, healthy debate. So that's some of the stuff we went through last night. And I also watched my Big Brother. Obviously, I'm a Big Brother fan. For anybody watching, live show and eviction was yesterday, and I was up on my live feeds early this morning and all that good stuff. But that was how my day was. That was mine.
No, but I love the going back and forth. It adds, it gives us content to talk. No, you have to jump right into the topic because you post. No, we got to jump right into it. I promise we're gonna talk about it because now we fake news because I wanted to know.
Lee called us fake. It's all good, Lee. We not fake.
Because I wanted to see how everybody's night was before we jumped right into it. Yeah. It's called getting everybody's night to see what happened. So
I want to talk about this Nolan Wells case. He's upset. Lee, you upset? Lee, talk about it. Let's go, Lee.
And that's why when you put these titles up, and we have to do it, you put these titles up, people get upset if they don't click and within 5 seconds of the title. It's not a clip, but this is not one of those clips that we clipped and we put on. We're actually having the entire show. Fake topics. That's what we do. That's what we do. We do fake topics. We exhausted the topic yesterday, but we're going to get back into it. Marriage is not just a title. It's also a legally binding contract. It's tough. Marriage is looked upon as a big deal until the shit don't go right. Then all of a sudden you're like, this is stupid. I'm out of here. And I've done it. I started relationships technically before the marriage is over.
Is that why y'all try to kick me down the aisle all the time? And Jay Black says it. You should be married. Why are you not married?
I try to kick you down the aisle all the time because you've been planning this wedding forever, and he ain't gonna marry you. I feel like I think he's scared, but I digress.
But you hear what he said? He said he's not going to marry you. Not you're not going to marry him.
I mean,
interesting.
What I say wrong?
I'm just saying it's interesting.
Okay.
Because you don't know. She basically, I'm not speaking for her because she's right there, but you don't know if it could be the woman in a situation that is holding things up. That is not holding things up, but is preferring for us to iron some other things out, to get some other things together.
Mm-hmm.
And that's important.
Yeah, I just treated me like a pick-me, like a desperate person.
I wanted to know what the latest with your relationship. Like Doc, I know Doc was in a new situation. He stopped talking about her.
Hey, let's get to this topic. Let's get to this topic.
Let's stay focused. All right, let's get focused. All
right, so yesterday, I don't have a problem with it, but I this is what happens when Ben Crump and them when they say we have a press conference at a certain time. I think our hopes get like we expect like this miraculous thing to be said, and that's not fair. They're giving you a press conference to update you, and it's basically an update. But when it's spread throughout, and they say there's a press conference, I think. Well, I'll speak for me. I'm like, okay, so what? So did somebody arrested? Mm-hmm. Is there something? So they did have a press conference yesterday. Here's some of the press conference that took place. Here it is right here. And who was the guy who said get to the topic with fake news? What was his name?
Lee Robinson. Lee.
Hey Lee. Lee. Hey Lee. Here.
Let's go, buddy.
Hey Lee. Here we go. The press conference.
Wells goes with friends, celebrating 4th of July. All the friends come back. Nolan Wells tragically washes up on the shore 2 days later, dead. And so we know all the current events that have been happening. We are announcing that we have the audio from the officials, and we have retained and are consulting with some of the foremost audio engineering experts to review those audio tapes from the CETO call in its entirety. Okay. We also, and Attorney Hertz may go into greater detail on these matters, have consulted President Mariel with oceanic engineering experts to talk about how these facts are lining up. The fact that they say Nolan's body was found in the same location where they say they left him at. And so we want to know, how is that possible with the oceanic tides? Yeah. We want the experts. I mean, you got low tides and high tides. It's not adding up. So we are going to dot every I and cross every T until we find out what happened to Nolan Wells. Attorney Hertz will also go into a little more detail, and Attorney Park, about how we're trying to coordinate with Dr. Roger Mitchell, who conducted the independent autopsy of Nolan Wells, to be able to inspect his throat that was missing with his body when he was flown to do the autopsy with Dr. Mitchell. Also, we are hopeful that they will discuss with Dr. Mitchell the photographs and observations made at the time when Nolan was first discovered.
So it's the recap of, hopefully they're going to get the throat to actually do their autopsy on. I thought there was also a question that somebody from the New York Post presented, and it caused a stir when they were talking about, a lot of people are saying that this is being done for financial gain. And Ben Crump then stepped to the side, and there was an individual in the back who took the question. And I don't know if I have that, but from what you heard, y'all comments on from what that, do you feel it's necessary? Do you feel this is something that they should keep doing these updates, or is something, should they just do this on social media? How do you feel about it? Anybody?
I think the best part was the connections between the other incidents. And he talked about Daniel Irving's case. He talked about Tyler Smith's case and connection with Nolan Wells' case, saying that all these things happen within months of each other. These are all 2026, and they're all in the same area, right? The backlogs for Mississippi, I was looking into the medical examiner's situation, and they were talking about how Mississippi has, the worst situation when it comes to medical examiners and autopsies. In one of the pieces where the medical examiner is first getting her position, and they were praising her getting this new position, they were saying some of the backlogs are as far back as 4 years. And I was like, wait, what? The guy was like, yeah, we got to give the family the cause of death and all. 4 years later.
4 years.
They said they have thousands and thousands of autopsies that haven't been done. And some people speculate because of the population that's, the ones most heavily affected by this. People are, dragging their feet. And in a lot of ways, it's what they call plausible deniability. So no, people aren't, being cruel. People aren't calling people names. But so many people have this narrow definition of what racism and prejudice looks like and what systemic discrimination looks like, that they're just waiting for somebody to say the N-word all the time. And it's like, no, these are ways in which, if you, after dying, can't even be looked at by a professional because there's only like 2 people in the whole area, and they had thousands and thousands of people who have not been properly processed in Mississippi. Like, this is bad. But I like the fact that they're showing the systemic nature, because it's like Malcolm moving from civil rights to human rights. We want to know what happened to Nolan. We're all on it. You said yesterday, Mike, about basically the indictment of the whole system and the whole state. Like, this is a bigger issue. It's not like, oh, what did these 4 kids do? These 4 kids had parents. Some of their parents were there. Some of their parents are judges and doctors. Like, it's bigger than Nino Brown. So we got to start looking from a systemic analysis. I think Leonard Jeffries said, if you don't have a systemic analysis, you end up with a paralysis of analysis. So you got to draw the lens back and be like, wait a minute. Like we said yesterday, how did these kids get this way? What's the school system like? You know, what are these police forces like? What is the process? Because right now you have 3 people, suspicious deaths. The same white medical examiner saying no foul play and nothing to see here, right? They got time to do that, and we need to look at this whole system, and it needs to be indicted. The whole system. What did Martin Lawrence say? The whole damn party's out of control, right? We need to make sure that by the time this is over, police force, the courts, the doctors, the medical examiners, the coroners, like if everybody needs to lose their job and we just need to start from scratch, and maybe Mississippi become the new Tulsa and we replace them with all black people that are competent, but black, like Jay said, and not beige.
Yeah, black.
Like,
Make sure
I'm saying, but
both your parents are black.
something serious got to give. This ain't about locking up 3 people. And I like the fact that they repositioned and re-strategized and literally represented this case within the larger context of systemic discrimination and potential murders.
And it's very it's funny that you say that, because we talk about all of the other implications of inequity in our communities, right? We never think about inequity from a coroner's perspective, and
can't even die.
You can't even die. You know, we talk about Black exhaustion. I can't even die without still experiencing some type of inequity.
That is an amazing indictment. That when you think about racism, we always think about racist, just the typical the TV and movie, which were actual reality, which are realities of wearing hoods and burning shit up and stuff like that. But we forget when those people take their hoods off, they go to their occupation. So their thought process now is going to infect what they do, especially if they have allies within it. If it's just one person, that's bad enough. But if your supervisor agrees with your point of view and your intern who you bring in has been raised on that point of view, then you now have a whole job that now regurgitates the same disgusting racism in just being a coroner conducting autopsies and deciding that you are not going to do the research because, number one, you don't think that this person is worthy of you taking the time out, number one, to do the research. And number two, if it were to implicate somebody of your race, your people, you now have the power to say, we can move this right along.
Nothing to see here.
Nothing to see here. And people, the running joke is my law degree comes from Washington Law and Order. I always get nervous, but I think what Doc said is correct. We should go at the system. Not only do we need justice for these people who took part in this, but the system is the main reason, because once this is done and over with, what changes if the system isn't implicated and forced to change? I'm always worried that when you start fighting too many battles, one of the battles may actually lose steam because you're trying to fight so many battles.
That you can't get anything accomplished. But when he says change that, ain't the same people that's voting for those people to be in those positions, it's still their peoples. The good old boy gang, in a sense. Like in Mississippi, who's going to vote to get a different perspective in office? It's not happening.
That's why you need federal oversight. That's what happened with Obama, and when they had the whole Ferguson report, and they demanded a report. And one of the things that Eric Holder talked about in that press conference, that I think we watched some of it one day, I said everybody should watch it. And he said one of the crimes that people were basically committing was manner of walking. And if you remember Mike Brown's situation, the first thing he said to Mike Brown was, get the F out the street. So I'm walking wrong and I end up getting shot. And they were talking about the disproportionate amounts of traffic tickets and, conversations people were having, like, oh, you got 1.5 million next year, let's make it 2. Literally, they were just like taxing these people like half of their day's pay on traffic stops, 9 times more likely to get pulled over. They said there was games of how many tickets somebody can get. At one point, somebody gave 12 tickets for one stop. Like, there's other ways that people are refining these oppressive tactics. So you're right, Mike. I mean, you're right, Jay. You need other people involved. You need the FBI. You need the government, the federal government, because that's what happens with school districts. That's happened with Philadelphia when they want to take over something. They threaten to take it over federally. And they be like, if y'all can't get your budget together, if y'all can't get the sanitation together, if y'all can't get y'all schools together, then we're going to come in and take it over. And people are like, oh, I got it. Yes, sir, boss. They need to make the same threats with these police departments things too. Back with Rizzo, we were the #1 corrupt police department, and we were investigated federally and sued because it was that corrupt and that racist. There's other levels to this. We just need the other levels to get involved.
But why would they? If Trump is in office and Trump could care less.
But
that's a great point.
That's
why November is critical.
Is that the administration that would come in federally actually
will be worse.
Endorses this and will be like, hey, you need some help? We can send ICE up in there. Hey, we can bring ICE up in there if you need some help to continue. That is the catch-22 of all catch-22s now. So
why y'all not wearing y'all hoods?
Yeah, why? Yeah, why y'all faking? Y'all not even in uniform.
Y'all half stepping.
If you're gonna do it right. Unfortunately, the feds can't be relied on either. Happy Friday, y'all. Happy Friday. So,
but I do, just to go back to the press conference, because I didn't take that first angle when it first came on. I wanted to know Nolan Wells updates. There was their new discovery. Are we subpoenaing the phone records? What did we find? Is there a timetable on getting the results from Mississippi? Like, that's what I was looking for. When I started seeing all the other stuff, I'm like, wait, what? But I get it now. He was setting it up and showing the bigger picture. He's reestablishing. But at first I was a little frustrated. Like, I just wanted to hear about Nolan. I didn't care about nothing else but new facts on Nolan. But that was a small scale. But I see on the bigger picture what Ben Crump was trying to accomplish.
So going the smaller fish is the bigger win. You know, because we're very topic centric. We're very focused on
Lee. We can't talk about nothing else except this. Like Lee said, get right to the point. But go ahead, Mo.
Yeah, we're so focused on what happened. Like J Black said, I was looking for this and not seeing the bigger impact of bringing someone like Ben Crump in. This is very strategic, by the way, because we don't look at it from that standpoint. This is all strategic. This is not him not focusing on the matter at hand. This is him saying, no, you know what, the bigger win and how we're going to really, really make this change and make this big impact is going here. Y'all concentrating on the layup. I'm going here from the 3-point.
And then there's so many different aspects of it, because if you're a parent, you're like, dog, I know what you're saying. And I agree with what you're saying. But my son's dead. Yeah, so I know you want to change everything. I know you want to change stuff, but let's keep the main thing as the parent. The parent is like, I need justice for this. And the other thing with these press conferences, and I hate to sound like this, and it's gonna sound the way it's gonna sound. Promotion. This is like when eventually they hope there's going to be a trial. There's going to be a trial. We don't know if there's going to be cameras in the courtroom allowed. We don't know any of that. That's way ahead. But there's a rollout to this. And they have to keep people's attention the same way when an artist rolls out an album. They got to do promo, and they got to keep your attention that don't forget this album is coming. Don't lose steam. I got to do all these interviews, and because this album is coming, because we are finicky and our attention span is like this. And just ask Carmelo Anthony's parents how fast the attention span can switch from you being on top of mind of everybody to something else. Unfortunately, in this country, something else is going to happen next. We know something's going to happen next.
Yeah, we stopped talking about Carmelo. And ain't he getting a new trial? And we have.
They're playing. They're positioning for the appeal. But that's why it's important also. Think about when just the other day, everybody was like, did Katie date Bart? Did Katie date Bart? And that's dangerous because we are topic centered. And plus, I don't want Ben Crump doing our job. We'll do the hot topics. We'll do all the breakdowns and analysis. Like you just do you do the lawyer stuff. Don't start podcasting, Ben Crump, right? No, but seriously, it turned out like 24 hours later, it might not be Katie. So now we're in this spiral of he said, she said. Now it's Love Island. Now we're just talking about who's dating. It's like, no. That's not where we want to go with it. We don't want to go with the rumors and all that kind of stuff. Plus, we want to get the case relocated. So we have to indict the system to say there's no way he can get a fair trial in Mississippi.
No way.
But we got a judge. We got a judge involved.
Yeah, we got to
do that.
Yeah,
but that's
exactly.
like Mike said, Mike Perosi, that's our job. We have to keep the word and keep the pressure and let them know systemically. We got to let them know. Don't try to put it next door to your cousins who also live in. No. We need to let them know. We need federal oversight. We need this case moved so it's neutral and fair. Like there's some serious strategy. Oh, last one. The other families, the divide and conquer strategy is what's often used against us. So a lot of times they'll have families whose deaths have had less attention. Other people will put them up in the public and say, I don't know why Nolan's getting all the attention. And that's happened before. Well, they'll use members of the family to go against. And so I think it was really smart looking at history for Ben Crump to be like, let's all come together so they can't divide us. At least Black Mississippi got to be together because our babies are dying.
The father actually got up and spoke. Let me see where I got that. I got his father and talked to the people at the press conference right here.
The disrespect that's been coming toward my wife and my family, for any parent, no matter what race you are, they need time to grieve. A parent can't grieve when you have people attacking them, attacking their jobs, attacking their character, just attacking them, period. Like, where's the empathy at? We, as Americans, this is a diverse country.
Yep.
Not no one race made this country. We all made this race, made this country. So we all need to come together. And like I said, if you know something, please come forward and just call our attorneys, give them the information, and they'll take it from there. Just help us out, and not just us, but all these families. All these families need answers. Anyone with information on any one of these cases, please come forward, because losing a child is something that you got to live with for the rest of your life. Thank you.
The pain that they're going through, number one, I've never gone through, and I know people on our show who watch has gone through that. So I don't even know what that must feel like. And I just want to reiterate, I can't even imagine now as a parent trying to navigate this process. One day you wake up, your son is gone. You'll never see your son again. And now you have the eyeballs of the entire country dissecting every word that comes out of your mouth. And you are in front of a microphone that you had no training for. This has never been your occupation to stand in front of a camera. And anybody who has stood in front of a camera or talked on a microphone every day for a living understands the mistakes that you can make, even if you've done it for 30 years. So imagine the pressure of trying not to sound a certain way or being taken a certain way, but at the same time trying to stand up for your child who's dead. Without sounding, we're already labeled as angry.
Good morning, Johnny.
Every Black and brown person is labeled when you say anything that has to do with question is taken as aggression. Any question we have is taken as aggression. So to have to not to fight the urge to say what every parent would say, that one of you motherfuckers know who killed my son.
Yeah.
When I catch you.
Oh, now you're the angry guy now. You're the angry mom.
You can't say this is the falsehood of society. You can't say what every parent is thinking. You literally can't say what every parent is thinking. They killed my son. And they know. And they know somebody in that group knows what happens. And how the fuck do you go to sleep at night and not tell somebody that young man did nothing to you to deserve this? And you guys are going to head back to school when it starts again. You guys are going to have breakfast. You guys are having group text messages and chats. You guys are going to visit people, and my son is dead. And one of you or a few of you know exactly what happened.
Yeah, you know what happened. And you don't want to tell because you don't want to go to jail.
And you can't express what every parent is feeling. Can you imagine what you are going through between the tears and wanting to punch a hole in the wall? The dynamics of going from 0 to 100 to ultimate sadness and depression to the anger that you've never felt in your life before. I feel horrible for parents, for these parents and any parent who's ever had to deal with that.
And they're being judged. The mom and they're not grieving hard enough, or no, she looked like she okay. She should be doing this. So people are really coming at her, but she's looking at social media trying to get clues and tips and got to read all of these, and then still, the review bombing, the negatives, and it's like, what did she do wrong as a mom? But they figuring out ways to break her down.
Then you got this coon over here talking about attacking her, saying, "Oh, how can she say that she don't know these kids? These kids been this." First of all, I'm not. Let me just say, you don't know whether she knows them or not.
Good morning, Aunt.
But anybody who knows, they are friends that your parents know, and they're friends that your parents happen to know their name.
Yes,
but you can't say best friends. There's nobody that's a best friend that your parents don't know. Come on.
To be polite. Sometimes the parents being polite.
All them years and your parents don't know and you're besties? Nah. I don't believe that.
No, I mean, I don't believe that. And I know when we get down this gray area, I'm just gonna say they're friends that your parents know, and they're friends that your parents know. There's like 3 friends that my parents at 55 years old, I can say no.
No, like black.
Yes.
Yeah, like they black.
They know.
They know.
Or Latin. They know. They don't know that.
But would somebody say, "Oh, Mike was my best friend, and we've been the best"? Like, see, that's the difference.
Wild. That's wild.
Like to say all of that, your parents would know who that person is.
Yeah, if you asked Nolan, he wouldn't have said Warren. If you asked Nolan, who's your best friend, I don't think his top 4 or 5 would have been me and Warren is like that. I don't know.
Diane said many people lack empathy. That's very true.
This society isn't promoted.
Or they have empathy, but it supersedes their natural curiosity to implicate other things about people. Because it's a natural instinct to be salacious sometimes and conjure up all of these other, well, what ifs and why this and why that, instead of going to the natural, to the focus of, wow, this must be heart-wrenching and hard, like you said, Mike.
Facts. And that's why when I say kindness is gangster, this is what I mean by when I say kindness is gangster. It's not about just pulling out chairs and being polite and saying, "How are you? Have a nice day." It's about knowing that a family deserves to know the truth, but the community you live in keeps saying, "We need to keep this moving. We're not going to get our young people in trouble." And kindness being gangster, saying, "Yeah, but they deserve to know the truth. Yeah, but they just stirring up trouble. You can't lump all our young people in this. They shouldn't have to go. Yeah, but they deserve to know the truth. They deserve to know what happened to their child."
They should. We don't want to talk about that though. I don't want to acknowledge that.
We there's a lot of times where people would rather, they don't want their comfortable community disrupted, and even if it means somebody loses a child, for them the benefit is, let's just keep this status quo the way it's been. There's no reason to get an uprising about this. Listen, he drowned. We can't bring him back. This is what people will say. We can't bring him back. So the people who are living shouldn't be put through this because we don't know what happened. And the kindness being gangster says, motherfucker, but they deserve to know the truth. And they deserve to know our taxpayer money is given to a system that is supposed to do everything to try and find the truth. But when you got goddamn judges that are now implicated in giving advice on people to circumvent the system, you realize that your kindness is going to be met by resistance. Because there are people right now who got involved in this in the spur of the moment. And I'll say allegedly is just my opinion. There are people who got in this immediately to protect their children, who got involved in this and did things just off the door. The fact that you gave any advice, you're breaking the law. The fact that you just didn't call the police and bring this in. The fact that you gave a suggestion on what to do without calling the police, it is a fucking crime. They also have people, there was a march that happened.
Are we still marching? That still works?
Well, don't tell Jay-Z that.
He knew what he was doing.
It wasn't kneeling, so I guess it makes it wasn't kneeling. So
Yes, sir, Nolan Wells. Yes, sir, Nolan Wells.
That's structured march. Okay.
Benji Pardon at 12. Hey, Nolan Wells. Hey, Nolan Wells. Yes, sir, Nolan Wells. Yes, sir, Nolan Wells. Hey, Nolan Wells. Hey, Nolan Wells. Yeah, we know the truth. Yeah, we know the truth. Ocean Spring, yeah. Ocean Spring, yeah. Hey, Nolan.
And Doc knows as much as anybody else. Let me tell you what they don't like seeing.
Shout out to the Israelites.
Holla.
Let me tell you what they
organized march.
Don't like seeing. And this is and just in my law and order degree, this is why they so want this to quiet down. Because right now they're telling themselves, oh, they're marching. Oh, they've got people here. But if we can just wait them out and we can make this trial not happen for another 2 years, we can get the attention. And you know what? That type of strategy has been effective before. It has been effective before.
Is this a bot? What he's saying? We're down the street as they're going with overdose. I don't know what he's saying.
We're down the street is there.
Good morning, KC Max.
Good morning.
But no, the marching, sometimes it gets to be like, all right, are we going to, is something going to come from this? But that was a structure. I guess you want to disrupt businesses and like, what is, go ahead, cut it out of, I know.
No, I let it go. I let it go.
All right. So the purpose of that march is the cause chaos, right? To have attention, right? Like, Doc, from your perspective, what do you gain from that?
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because I was just about to take the alley-oop from them, because even in the Panther Party, they had like a minister of information. They also have people that worried about armed resistance. Some people worried about, teaching and knowing the laws, whether it's Mao's Red Book or Huey P. Newton talking about the Second Amendment and educating the people. Like, everybody got a role to play. So part of what my role is as a historian, right? Academic in African American studies. Part of my role is to give historical context and give systemic analysis. So I was gonna ask just before we played that to say, let me delve a little deeper and give y'all some references and some facts, because I remember when I first got my job, they said, remember, when you got a PhD next to your name, people expect for you to have some sources based on your statements. And I never thought about it before that. They were like, no, you can't just go out and be saying things. You have maybe not a professional, but you have an ethical responsibility. And when they were hiring me, they were saying, we're hiring you, you're representing us, we're representing you. When you go out into the world, you can't just be rumor milling and spilling your thoughts without letting it be known that that's what it is. So what I said earlier, I want to drill down on that a little bit to let you know how long this problem's been going, and one aspect to illustrate and illuminate just how deep the systemic issues go. There's an AP article from 2022, and the article's title is Autopsy Backlog Plagues Mississippi with Worst Delays in the United States. One of the things it says is autopsies that should take days take weeks. Autopsy reports that should take months take a year or longer, right? They name different pathologists and things like that, but this is the fact I want to give y'all. The medical examiner was waiting on about 1,300 reports from as far back as 2011. Now, I just told you this is a 2020-something article. In 2022, they were saying that the Mississippi State Medical Examiner was waiting for about 1,300 reports from as far back as 10 years prior. Right? Listen to this. District attorneys have resigned themselves to long waits. We're at the point now where we're happy if it's only a year, said Luke Williamson, who's been a prosecutor for 14 years in northern Mississippi. That's why you need oversight, because like we said something about things get normal, right? And Mike said it earlier, how things get normalized, right? The National Association of Medical Examiners, the office that accredits U.S. death investigation officers, dictate that 90% of autopsy reports should be returned within 60 to 90 days. This is the last fact. Listen to this one.
No, go ahead.
Mississippi's office has never been accredited.
How is that possible?
Possible, yeah.
Mississippi's office has never been accredited. The majority of U.S. medical examiner agencies, which are chronically underfunded and face a shortage of forensic pathologists, and are unaccredited. So it's not just a Mississippi problem. The majority of U.S. medical examiner agencies, which are chronically underfunded, right? Big, beautiful Bill Trump's make it even worse, and face shortages of pathologists, right? They're unaccredited. States such as Georgia have raised the alarm about autopsy delays for up to 6 months, but nowhere is the issue more severe than Mississippi. I'll leave it there. But I'm saying, but they can march. They want to draw attention. Everybody's looking. They're logging on when y'all talk about the topic. So now our responsibility is to be like, let me give you a systemic chronology and historical perspective and context, because these are the deeper issues that lie beyond the surface. This is a touchstone. This drew attention. It happened with Emmett Till. That's why his mom was like, leave that casket open. Yeah, I want my son to have peace, and I want my son to have privacy, and I want the family to grieve. But Mammy Till was like, no, y'all been doing this for a long time. And this is deeper than, like we got to really make sure that the world get Jet Magazine, put it on the cover. Yeah, I'm with it. And I think that's what needs to be done. We need to learn from our ancestors in terms of strategy and, like Mike said, promotion. As crass as it might sound, that's what we need to be focused on. How do we keep this in a media cycle who doesn't want it in the media cycle? Because that's where the TMZs and New York Post, we're working uphill and against the machine. So we got to really be diligent and strategic and really utilize platforms like podcasts and things like that to draw attention to the fact that these unaccredited, taking a year, I think it was 1,300 in the article. Right now, they said, I told you earlier, 4,000 plus. 4,000 plus people. They don't even know why they died. They haven't even examined the bodies. Is there even a body to examine?
So who watches the like who's in charge of that department? Like who's
right now? That new lady. I'll give you her name too. I don't know if you got a picture, but they said she's the one that 4 times in recent memory has said these suspicious black deaths were no foul play, and that's the issue with her now.
I know, but who does she report to? Like, is it the mayor? Is it the governor? Like, who's in charge?
Damn, like, dude, you put a lot on Doc. Shit, like,
no, that's a good question, though. That's a good question
because they're the ones that's been allowing it to happen.
But
so her name is Stacey Turner. She's the chief medical examiner and forensic pathologist. And I'm gonna ask that same question now. Who does Stacey Turner report to? Y'all keep going. I'll get you. I'm about to get that.
So, but and the thing that people will say, just to give you the people say, if you have a department that's undermanned and underwomaned off the door, what they're gonna start to tell you is, well, what do you want now? Well, systemic racism comes in again. Is if you're undermanned and underwomaned, why in a racist environment would you spend any time on the black bodies or brown bodies that come in? If your time is already being pushed to the limit, where there's only 1 or 2 people who are dealing with this, you're gonna say, yeah, no foul play in that. Like any job, you fall behind. If
I'm over inundated in cases, you're more likely to say, okay, what's the ones that's more important? I'm gonna put those at the top. And if I get to the other ones, then I'll get to them.
Oh, there's Stacey right there.
Yeah, Stacey Turner. Stacey with an I, just so people want to look it up.
But the crazy thing is that you said they're not accredited.
They said that most of them aren't. Underfunded, not accredited, lacking necessary pathologists. Mississippi, for a long time, when the article about her position, they were basically functioning without the person in the position. So they had like the coroner, but not the pathologist. So she filled a role that I think they were waiting to have it filled. I don't think anybody was doing that role. Somebody else was like acting and all this other stuff. Then somebody else got dismissed for personnel matters. And he was still working with them because they needed somebody. It's bad. Like you wonder what year it is. You hear these stories and you're like, wait, this is 2026.
That can't be 2026, right? No.
There's thousands of colleges graduating people every year. What the hell? You can't find a person to do this? You can't. They should be funding programs, scholarships. Let's get them into the workforce. Let's make sure we have enough forensic pathologists and medical examiners. So 4 years from now, we're not dealing with this nationally. But that's like what y'all said. It's not the priority.
Ashabu says, yes, Doc, we have to address these racist issues, crimes in multiple ways, from marching to the media, laws, voting. getting involved in our schools and communities, and all of that is right. And we do, but and this is why the system is built the way it's built, to overwhelm us. To when does the average person have this time to take part in this? And this is why struggle is always needed. And the economy in this country, they always want people to struggle because they don't want people to have the energy to be able to, like, wait a second.
It's uphill battle. I got exhausted just thinking like who I got to get her out of there. It's we ain't gonna never get that done. Like, it's frustrating. So it feels like an uphill battle. It's been all these years.
It don't feel like it. It is.
It is. Yeah. And Chip, like, to your point about like the marching and why march, because it may seem so archaic to some of the strategies that we do now, but marching is part of the strategy. It's not the whole thing.
Absolutely.
It's not the whole piece of the puzzle. I do know that the what is it, the IUIC, they do have podcasts. They do have other ways that they engage the community. So it's not just a one size fit all model to solving this. It's a cumulative. So marching is important. It is important. As old as marching is, and holding these rallies is very important and integral part to the bigger puzzle, the bigger piece of the puzzle.
And we may think it's archaic, but it's the same reason why countries have parades, is to show off the weapons that they have.
They still do it. Yeah, they
still
march.
do it just to show other worlds, and just to be like, hey, this is what we got as arcade. You have to let people know that they are people out here who are actively involved in this, and you have to, because it's the old saying. What was it? A quiet dog a quiet mouth don't get fed, or whatever.
Closed mouths don't get fed.
Closed mouths don't get fed. If you don't cause the ruckus and saying this is a problem, and more people don't say, because trust me, if there wasn't this type of reaction right now, just think about it. This would have been labeled a drowning weeks ago.
They said it initially, right?
Yes,
they tried it. They tried.
Nothing to scare people, accidental drowning. Sheriff said that, oh, we out, we good.
Another important part about the marching, shout out to Leon Sullivan, Progress Plaza, who I advised Dr. King about, how to incorporate the economic component. And one of the things he helped Dr. King with was Operation Breadbasket, where they would go to the stores and say, if you're not hiring Black people, and companies like Steel Test and all that, if they're still being racist, we're not going to support them. Operation Breadbasket was the economic initiative that made people take notice. That's why, like the Montgomery bus boycott, they started firing those white bus drivers. That's when it started getting people's attention. We knew back then these people might not be as empathetic as us. They might not be as humane as us, but they care about money and they care about violence. So if you're not able to hit them in the pockets or reciprocate the same level of violence, you're going to have a problem changing these people. So when we take this marching thing, let's make sure, because we are our ancestors, let's take the strategic components of marching as well and start to shake up the economics. Don't just walk past the store and then go sit in Starbucks after you finish marching, after you get your permit, and they have a good day. Like, we got to make sure that we hit them in the pockets. But to Jay's question, which is important, because it's something that I haven't even heard in all of my research about Nolan Wells. Who does Stacey Turner, Chief Medical Examiner, report to? The answer is Mississippi Public Safety Commissioner Sean Tyndall, Tindell. Mississippi Public Safety Commissioner Sean Tyndall, or Tyndall, I've it said. He is the current commissioner of the Mississippi Department of Public Safety, DPS, appointed by Governor Tate Reeves, May 2020. Now, if you're Sean Tyndall or Tyndall and you're seeing Stacey catch all the flack, what you don't want is for some podcast to drop your name in the mix and maybe make a TikTok about you and say, wait a minute, if Stacey's such a problem and repeatedly she's been declaring these situations where Black men got their legs broken and they're hanging, but you're saying nothing to see here, then, go ahead, y'all, is on fire today. Let's make sure we get Sean on the Summer Jam screen, Mississippi Public Safety Commissioner Sean Tyndall. Yeah, we need him up there. Yeah. So and the governor was Tate Reeves.
He don't look like he rocking for Black folk, though. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Well, whether he looks like it or not, this is where we have to force the hand that we don't care if you rock or not. We need accountability. Like Doc said, we need accountability because this has been on your desk. All the numbers that Doc has just brought up have been numbers that you've seen. That
Since
you've
2020.
seen. And this is what I mean when we spoke yesterday, when we were on the show yesterday, when I said when it was all dark and everything was being done in the dark, now everything that used to be normal, the activities and the way you handle things aren't as normal anymore. Because now people, dude, you've seen this problem. This is on your desk.
Yeah, but he's part of it. He ain't just see it.
Yeah.
No, he's part of it. He never pushed back and said, "Hey, what's going on with this? Why do we have why?" Of course, he didn't say. This is kind of ironic that every time it's a black body that comes to you, it seems to get pushed to the side. Of course it has. And just to say this, and I don't want to get off the beaten path, but this is what I mean when I get frustrated on how much support we give the BET Awards, because it's not a black network.
It's owned by BlackRock, right?
Yes, and some other ones, but they're the main owners, and Viacom, and whoever is in there. But that network, if it's a black network, what do you think would be their top story? Where do you think the coverage would be?
It would be all around Nolan.
Yeah.
Carmelo.
They would
Nolan,
be the update central for people to go to. In a perfect world, if it's a black entertainment network.
No CNN, no Fox. We going straight to the source.
And there's nowhere. I watched CNN on purpose yesterday. I kept it in the background. Because I wanted to see when it was going to be brought up. It was a side story. They gave a clip. There was no panels about it. They didn't have a panel of their experts. No, they went to their go-to, where they went to their money makers, and they wanted to talk about the war going on. Not saying it's not important. I'm just saying what they're saying is not important, because it's just a back and forth. It's just a sparring situation. But there's nobody there. There's no 1 hour special. There's no 2 hour special. There's no in-depth bringing lawyers in and bringing people who are experts in the autopsy field to say, is this normal? Like, should the number
or the Diddy-mentries? Remember the documentaries of Diddy? I call them Diddy-mentries.
Yes.
And if you remember, TMC was dropping them joints while the trial was going on. They didn't wait to find out what the truth was. TMZ was like, we got tapes of the party. We got the elevator tape. TMZ was making full, like you said, full documentaries, full productions. I was looking up. I know Willie D had called the tip line, and he went viral because he found out that, the judge's number was similar to the tip line number. I think we should try to call Sean at some point. I see they got numbers for their offices and everything else too. They got numbers for the Mississippi Department of Public Safety headquarters. Maybe on Monday, if y'all not trying, but I see the numbers. I think one says 601-987-1212, 601-987-1212. That's Mississippi Department of Safety headquarters. And Sean's office, if you want to do media, they got media inquiries, a special email. It says bmartin@dps.ms.gov. B, the letter B, Martin at dps.ms.gov. And I think every podcast, every news outlet should be like, we do want to talk to you. We definitely do want to talk to you. So for media inquiries, we got some media inquiries. We'd love you to come on the show. We got some
What's
questions.
the phone number you said again? For Sean Tisdale office?
The phone number is, I don't got his number, but the number for his office, the public safety headquarters, is 601-987-1212. And they open at 8 a.m. So they open. I say close.
No, they're an hour behind us.
Yeah, I was about to say, time zone. Gotcha. Yep.
Different time zone. But
we need to. I'm saying, you know what else you do? You get these people on the record. That's another thing now.
Yeah.
If you're not smart enough to say no comment, if you're not smart enough to Fauci your way out of this joint, because that's what happened with Nolan with the whole situation with Officer Tatum. We said it. We talked about it. Why would you be dumb enough to be writing Facebook posts? Why would you be dumb enough to do interviews? If there's ever a chance for a civil trial, criminal, or both, the last thing I want to do, I'm like OJ. I'm not even getting on the stand. Like, you ain't getting me. But if people got egos and think they can't be touched,
right,
they might mess around and talk to somebody.
Especially nobody's checking for him. Right.
Yep. So he might be like, yeah, hello. Well, I actually, start getting all white man with it.
Because you want to act like you have the answers. And if you're caught off guard, you're right, Doc, because up until today, I didn't even think to connect the dots to who does she answer to?
Yeah, that's a good question. Have you made a public statement with all of the attention on the process of autopsies and the multiple cases and the racial tension? Has your office or you personally made any, public statements about the concerns in the past year?
And when you just look at we're this is the tip of the iceberg. What we're doing right now, we're brainstorming, and you see how much work it's going to take for this law firm to actually turn over every rock to find this out. So you can imagine what we haven't even touched on, that they're like, we got to get to this, we got to get to that. And then you have to get evidence on these people on why they're at fault. Why were they allowing this to go? This is an immense. And as much as, listen, that's why I keep my comments about Ben Crump, because this is the pressure that is on him and his law firm.
Yeah.
That goes along with this. And to understand not only the pressure, but the hate that is coming along with this, to try and shut this investigation down and try and keep this moving. Like whew, man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. But I'll continue prayers. Hey, repost. You can repost. You can't be at a march. You can't be at a march. You can repost. You can look into different things that you repost and find out. You can do your research. It don't take much to research what goes on TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that. And there's some sources that you trust. Because the spotlight. What were we gonna say?
No, you see the comment explaining why it's important and why they showed up to march.
The Israelites showed up in March to show unity amongst our answers. We know it works because we did similar with Kendrick Johnson, took it to the Supreme Court. Now the case is back open. Well,
we talk about cases being, dead or kind of, fizzled out because something else is coming up and it loses its traction.
You can't make economic and revolutionary stance unless other people are unified on a large scale. The marching is to show that the unity on a large scale is possible. Yes, it is. Yeah. And you got to keep our attention. So I know people get frustrated with the press conferences, but if you're not in front of these cameras, letting people know this is what's going on, this is what's happening, this is the next step, this is what we hope to get the throat back. We hope that we get it so our autopsy examiner can get it done. I know it's set, and I know the easy low hanging fruit is they just want attention. Right. Guess what? They need the attention. Mm-hmm. This case needs the attention, and cases like this need
what you said about CNN. What you said about CNN having it in the background because you wanted to see what type of coverage and where they would have placed these stories, and it's like a byline, like a little small little segment. They touch on it, but it's not the meat and potatoes of their news feed for the day. Social media, thank God that we have it, because you can, you have the people bringing awareness and keeping it alive in social media and on platforms like this.
And let's also, there's many reasons why Colin Kaepernick got blackballed. One of them is you don't want these athletes to take part in something like this. You don't want the most influential when it comes to attention. You don't want these athletes to go league wide saying justice for Nolan. You don't want NBA players chanting justice for Nolan. You don't want NFL players kneeling during the national anthem for Nolan. You don't want baseball players. The phone is Richard. Maybe I said no.
Every time Doc say too much, YouTube they start messing with him.
They went to his phone personally, but they don't want athletes. Why do you think they keep telling athletes shut up and dribble? Because they know.
Sean Tisdale's on. I want to put that up before I leave, Mike, but keep going. But that's the phone number if y'all want to call his department If y'all want to start to kick up that dust, that's the number right there for Sean Tisdale. That's his department. That's his number. He's the one that's in charge of the medical examiner.
And record the call. Record the call.
Maybe change can start with us. That's what they say, right, Mike? It starts simple. Nobody's talking about who hired her and why he allowed this to happen for all these years.
Or who's the person who's accountable for, like, she has to report to him. So if these things and these allegations are going on and his office is not making a statement overall, to me, that seems like he has something to hide or there's some level of culpability.
Yeah, I need to subpoena her reviews. How'd her reviews go? Well, what was brought up in the reviews? What was she getting raises? Was she getting 5 stars? Was she getting recommendations and all types of?
She was exceeding expectations.
Was she exceeding? Was she really? Was she getting like applauded for her work? Ben Crump got more pressure on him than LeBron to bring it home.
Bring it home for a championship.
But think about that. Think about that. He said LeBron.
Johnny said, "I'm calling from Australia." Appreciate you, Johnny.
Hey, Johnny. He said LeBron. You think the NBA wants LeBron to get involved in this? You think the NBA wants LeBron to start saying this young man's name?
Because the racists that watch basketball, they get upset, and then they're going, yeah, that can be. They got a problem before when they supported the Black Lives Matter movement.
George Floyd, they almost ended the NBA season when they were in the bubble. And they got a phone call from Barack. But LeBron was willing, was talking about how can we keep playing. And you know how the NBA, now that I think about it, this shit just pissed me off. You know how the NBA pacified everybody? They let them wear names on their shirts, on their jerseys, representing victims. And they let them wear names on their shirts and shit on their sneakers. That's how they pacified them.
I can't breathe t-shirts. Yep, I remember.
They let them wear t-shirts, my dude.
Shut up and dribble. We came here for you to entertain us and play basketball, not, talk about social.
Not be activists, not talk about social, social load.
Of course, they don't want LeBron to get involved in something like that. And maybe he might shock us and maybe he'll speak on it. Maybe he will.
He's at the level in his career that he can afford to.
No, he can. Right? He's at a point.
He's definitely at the point where he can afford to.
And the thing, and I think you're right, Mo. I think you're right. But the problem is when you're a billionaire and your billions are connected and connected and connected and connected here and connected there and connected here and connected there. Sometimes it's not as easy as your financial team of 50 people go, hey, what are you doing? We got this going on with this, and we got $100 million deal here. But back to the point, the NBA don't want LeBron to get involved in this. I will be curious to see what Jaylen Brown has to say about this on his podcast. And this is what I mean, even to our music. This is what I mean about the dumbing down of our music. You telling me when in the late 90s, early 2000s, would something like this happen and this not be in a rapper's lyrics? A rapper wouldn't be shouting out the family and having a bar about it. This is what I mean about them taking everything that we create and minimizing it so it'd be less dangerous. Let's control this because the last thing we want is so-and-so in the middle of his concert, stopping the concert to show support.
Attention, awareness, bring awareness.
I think that goes back to what the comment David Israel said, like, you can't make economic and revolutionary stands unless our people are shown on a unified scale. And the marching that they were doing shows that unity on a larger scale is possible. So when you're talking about trying to create an economic impact or hitting them where it hurts, because they always say, oh yeah, the money, it's the money, it's the money. So if you're trying to make an economic impact, you have to see that it even works, that we can collaborate, because the narrative in our community is that or we can't get nothing together. When we
want to spin that. We do want to spin that. We need.
We can't get
we
nothing
need a little
together.
Carisha.
So we do need to be able to show on a larger scale to our people that if we just do this right, if we just galvanize and we stick together and unify, then we can make the impacts to make these changes.
Sound good, but didn't you shop at Target, Mo?
I do not, and I have not shopped at Target since we said no.
Okay,
and see,
put in Target.
And I get what Jay's doing there, but see, that is the shots that get taken to say you're not supporting because you may have shopped at Target. So that's how the divide. That's how the Jay-Z divide creates. Hey, dummies, what y'all doing fighting for Nolan? Y'all still shopping at Amazon?
There you go.
Y'all so all Nolan. Y'all still on YouTube doing the show.
And think about the defeat in that, because then that starts to eat away with like, well, what I do doesn't matter. It doesn't have impact. It's not impactful.
And it does matter. It does. People, every small thing you do, we are connected. We are connected. This whole world is connected. Rap helped expose apartheid in South Africa. Yes. Revolution's history. You must learn. Police brutality. Yes. And today, most just mumbling. Ain't no Nolan in a single bar. This is why they made sure they take what they know is dangerous. What we create, they know is dangerous. They take it, they minimize it, they dumb it down, they monetize it, and they make sure that you're just worried about a chick bending over or a dude talking about bending over the woman. The fact that rappers aren't speaking out about this.
Those are the distractions, though. And then when you talk about social responsibility in artists today, it's very different from the Harry Belafontes of the yesteryears. You understand what I'm saying? The Lena Horns. Those artists were also activists, though. Sam Cooke. Those artists were activists. Now, I think that there's I don't want to say an apprehension, Mike.
Because it's been taken over. It's been taken over and the rules have been changed. And the way you got on was A&R people and executives telling you need to talk about this. You want to get signed? You need to talk about this.
All right, Doc, you the rapping professor, right, Doc? Come up with a Nolan rhyme and then spit it for Monday. How about that, Doc? Put him on the pressure. Let's get something going.
And that would be dope. But the problem is, slowly but surely, for the last 15 years, they took our art form and left it voiceless. They left it voiceless.
Nina Simone, KRS-One.
Yeah.
And when they blackball Colin Kaepernick, don't you think the reason why they blackball somebody is to make him the example? I dare one of y'all to get up in here and try to talk that shit. Because we weathered the storm. We always weather the storm. We'll move your ass on out of here. Can you imagine? Can you just imagine if athletes said, if they said we canceling one night of games, if they said they refused to play just one night, the financial ramifications that would happen to that league, to whichever league, don't be the NFL. Can you imagine? Can you fucking imagine if a person organized people in the fucking NFL, the biggest sport in America, one of the biggest sports in the world, and they said, we are taking a whole week, Thursday, Sunday, and Monday. We're not playing because this is in protest of the... Can you imagine what ESPN and these motherfuckers who spend billions to broadcast this game would then tell Mississippi, y'all better get your shit right. Not because they care, not because they care about justice, because they go, Mississippi, y'all better get your shit right, because what you're doing right now is messing up billions and billions upon billions of dollars, because these black men are up in arms, and black women in the WNBA. Can you imagine if the NFL took 1 week off, 1 week of protest, 1 week?
That's too much money. Mike lost. They can't do that. Good morning, K-Day.
And that's why that's one of the reasons why they made the example of Colin Kaepernick. For times like this, when we need attention. Well, who has the most attention? the biggest athletes and the biggest artists of the world. We don't want them to be the activists, but we definitely want them to bring attention to it, to say, look over there, guys. Look over here. That's what's going on. That's the racism that's going on. That's the injustice that's going on. I don't know how to fix it, but those are the people fixing it. I need everybody to look over here. Damn, man. If you don't think this system is planned and organized, I remember that episode of the Boondocks. Imagine the athletes protesting and Oprah becoming the president at the end. The power. I don't know about the Oprah part,
but I mean, we have to learn how to go back to the foundation of galvanizing and not just leave in as a collective, not just looking and leaning on or other organizations. Oh, the NAACP got it. Oh, you know, the Million Black Men March. Oh, they're revitalizing that. They got it. Stop looking for other people to do the part that it takes all of us to do.
And listen, it doesn't. I know you got to go to work. I know you got to go to work. You got kids to take care of. You got to go. You got 2 jobs. I know you're trying to figure out how to keep these bills, how to keep the rent. Just keeping the attention on that cell phone is a repost. It's like what they used to tell us about. This is probably a bad analogy, but when the AIDS epidemic happened, what they say, if you have sex with one person, you've had sex with all the people that person's had sex with, and that person and all the people that person. If you repost to 5,000 followers, 500 followers, those people then repost, and the attention keeps going. And when you see Carmelo Anthony stories, don't just scroll and be like, oh, well, you know, no, those attention, use it. It's the obsession we have anyway. It's the obsession that keeps on obsessing. We keep obsessing about. Use it. And we'll do our best to keep shedding light on it. And at the same time, understand for those, there are a lot of people who's just joining this show. And yesterday we had a lot of new folks. If you can like and subscribe, understand we also have a bunch of fun. But it's hard to bring the bunch of fun and the silliness in right now. But understand, you're gonna get the silliness.
But I wanted to replay this because I got to ready to go. But I thought what we was talking about the medical examiner and all her priors, and we played this the other day. And just to add some insight, this is a rhyme that Cash Flow, he's from Harlem.
Really gets me. Meet Stacy Turner, chief medical examiner in Mississippi, out here telling a lot of lies. Why she won't rule mysterious black deaths as homicides? Starting with Trey Reed, it's backwards. College student hanging from a tree on campus. She labeled suicide, but that's sus to me. Black men don't hang themselves up on trees. Or Shannon Wilson was still a child when she labeled his death an accidental drowning. His family don't agree at all, bro. They claim white youth threw him in the water. What about Damian Cameron? Treachery. Lost his life to the sheriff and the deputies. Autopsy showed trauma and blood for certain, but she labeled his cause of death undetermined. And we know this game all too well. Now fast forward to Nolan Wells, only black kid on a whole boat with his set of friends. And despite the insurmountable evidence, somehow they ruled accidental drowning, no signs of foul play. The fix is definitely in. Is it Stacy Turner or Stacy don't turn the evidence in? Like,
so I thought that was dope in the way he did it. Yeah. So
was there more to it, or did it end right there?
No, I think there's a little bit more, but I gotta go. Appreciate you. I know it's Friday. I got a big.
But you gotta work.
I gotta work. I got Mike.
Gotta work.
First, I wanted to stay here, pro-black. You know, that's it. That's all. But I gotta go. Y'all keep rocking out. I appreciate all the new viewers. But I see you on Monday for sure.
All right, Jay. We'll see
I
you
actually
on
see you on the
Monday.
radio this weekend. You on the radio K104?
No, I'm on K104. Just K104 this weekend. 3 to 6 on Saturday and 4 to 7 on Sunday.
Cool beans.
So rocking over there. All right. So we're gonna wrap up the show early today, but before we get out of here, I thought it's a Friday, and you know we normally do some silly shit on the Friday. We know we. we normally do some stuff just to lighten things up on a Friday. Shout to everybody. Can you please like and subscribe if you're joining the show for the first time? We appreciate your support. We are community to Takeover Legends. We're here Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Obviously, once it goes on YouTube, it stays there forever. But we like the fact that we will put your comments up if you have any comments. I wonder how many comments Jay's missed. I know it's a lot of work, Jay.
A lot, because I'm over here distracted. My ADHD is like, my eyes are darting everywhere.
Oh man, whoa.
Jay Williams.
Yeah, I just listened yesterday. Exactly, just one game, one show. Yes, Bunked and Celebs and Artists. Sellouts. I have hope, Ash. Like, I understand what you're saying. But they are gentlemen like Jaylen Brown who are bringing a lot of awareness, and not only just awareness on injustices, but also financial literacy. And I got to give Jaylen Brown credit, who's now a Philadelphia 76er. Francis Cress Wesleyan put best in the ISIS papers. Young black boys are scared to die when they put too much lights on fighting for the conscientious rights of the people, because they've witnessed too.
You're asking because they've witnessed it too. So you're asking young black men or young black boys who have been traumatized by it to get into the fight, not even addressing their trauma. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Jay also says many of their peers and elders receive a death sentence for stepping out against the systematic racism and colonialism. Why can I never say that damn word? Colonized conditions of the people. Generation X was the residue from the 50s end. But there are people fighting, and I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong. There are people fighting. Mm-hmm. There are people, and
50s, like they're the last of the residual was left over of people having an outward outrage, pretty much, against the historical play in this nation.
All right. 60s to express outrage against the historical play of this nation. And I'm not disagreeing. I'm just there are people, and I'm not trying to push back on it, but okay. That may be 100% right, but we're here now, and we should support those who are speaking up. We should support the podcasts that are speaking up. We should support the independent journalists that are doing stories on TikTok, that are doing part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4 stories. And we should engage, we should repost. It's a small thing, but it's not a small thing. Because that's how if it was a small thing, every corporation wouldn't be on these social media platforms trying to get our attention. Mm-hmm. If it was a small thing, if social media was a small thing, they wouldn't be trying to control our algorithms or trying to read them and trying to designate them and premeditate them. They're listening. They're listening. All right, just for the hell of it, just so we leave on a light note. Just to get y'all and we're talking about Gen Xers. And Mo, I don't know if you experienced this. I believe you did. There was a note that would be famously left, because a lot of us people of this age had to raise ourselves, and we had to stay home by ourselves.
Hey, careful about this age.
we had to stay home by ourselves. Mm-hmm. And there was a note. There were no text messaging. There were no alerts on your phone. There was just a note. And I thought this was hilarious.
Forgot to take the meat out the freezer. This video might trigger you. Young people, gather around. Before parents could text you, track your location, send 17 reminders, they had something much more terrifying. The note. And it was never on actual paper. Oh no, my mama would grab the back of a Pepco bill, an old envelope, whatever was within reach. She would write on it, take the chicken out, wash the dishes, clean the kitchen. That little envelope was basically a household executive order. And nobody was at home supervising you either. You came home from school, you let yourself in the house, and you had until your mama's key hit that front door to complete your mission. Because every Gen X person knows the horror of hearing that key at the door, and you suddenly remember the chicken. Still frozen solid, still sitting in that freezer like a poultry brick. And now mama's home. Dinner is ruined. And apparently you brought shame upon the entire bloodline. Most of our parents weren't in the military, but we were all raised by drill sergeants. Tell me what y'all's note used to say, because I know y'all got stories.
The infamous note, ladies and gentlemen.
Key kids. Shout out to all my latchkey kids from the 80s.
The infamous motherfucking note.
Listen, and she is right. It was never on a piece of paper. My mom would take a bill on the back of an envelope, and you better see it when you get home.
You better see it. To this day.
Take out the ground beef, because we know it's going to either be meatloaf or spaghetti. Take out the ground beef and make sure you make your sister a sandwich, right? And make sure it's no dishes in my sink when I get home.
God bless the note. God bless the note. The good when times was God bless the note. Everybody's had that note. And listen, for what it's worth, I had to watch I think I was left home, I think in the 3rd grade. How old were you in the 3rd grade? Were you 8 or 9?
Yeah, 3rd grade. I had a key. I was a latchkey kid, 3rd grade, 8.
8. The summers, there was no, we didn't get sent off to camp. My mom and dad had to work. I knew what had to be, when they say
company, you better not have no other kids in my house.
You better not have no kids in the house. And listen, like it or not, some kids were told, don't touch the stove. I was taught how to use the stove. I was taught how to use that bitch and make the grilled cheese. Because how else would I make lunch for me and my sister if I couldn't turn on that stove to get that grilled cheese a popping? And many days I had to put stuff in the oven and put that shit at 350 or whatever the hell the universal degree was to put that bitch on with 350 or whatever it was. So those were a simpler time, and we made it. And
don't turn the TV on until your homework is done. Yes.
And you had to, and there was no ring cam. They just knew that they had you. Don't you turn that TV on until the homework is motherfucking done.
Yes. There was nobody peeping over your shoulder, but you felt like the whole world was peeping over your shoulder. Somebody's going to see.
Somebody's going to know. Somebody, somehow, some way is going to find out that we didn't do this or this didn't get done. So anyway, I want to end the show on something a little lighthearted on that. Listen, I want y'all to have an incredible weekend. We'll be back at it on Monday. If you want to get at me, at Mike Sean Comedy. If you have watched the show for the first time, please like and subscribe, like and subscribe, like and subscribe. If you want to catch me on R&B on 100.3 WRNB, Saturday from 3 to 6, Sunday from 4 to 7. We end the show the same way every time. Love me for who I am, not who you want me to be, because I can never be that. Understand there's only one thing in life that's guaranteed. It will end. So enjoy every minute, every second. You fight for everything in your life. Fight for your happiness and never let anyone, anything, any circumstance take it from you, because God got me. God got you. God got us. From Michael Sean, Sexy Mo, Jay Black, Dr. Aaron Smith, Amani, Kamari, C. Chung, Lady Q, Woke Up Inspired. If you want to put something on a shirt, if you have a crew like the Takeover Legends, a crew like the Takeover Legends, if you have a vision, you want to put it on a shirt, a mug, a fishing rod, a book bag, it don't matter what it is, go to wokeupinspired.com. And when you get there, you will see other merch that is ready to be sold and shipped. We are gone. Gone.
Michael Sean and the Takeover Legends, where the truth hurts, but also makes